are you doing? I wish I would have said Happy New Month, but we are recording this mid-August, so at whatever time that you will be listening to this podcast, just know that it was recorded in August. So, how are you doing? I have full energy today. I have a full house. I have my girlies. When I say I am with my girlies, this is what I mean. I am so excited about this. It's going to be fire. I hope you girlies are going to make it, to light it up so that we spend a today at the. But anyway, welcome to the 13 Minutes Podcast. My name is Lilian Favor. Thank you for joining with us. I started this season with a lot of butterflies in my stomach. I didn't know how it would turn out. I didn't know the impact that it would bring. I mean, who would want to talk about toxic parents? Who would want to talk about father wounds and mother wounds? But here we are. We have even talked about childhood trauma. Thank you for the amazing feedback that we have gotten from the previous episode on childhood trauma. Keep the comments coming, and I hope more comments will drop in for this session, for this particular session, because this is a hot one. This is something we have experienced. I put a poll yesterday on my WhatsApp status on the most silly conflicts that we have had with our siblings. And man, you guys, I should also see the same thing on your on our comments. So thank you so much for listening in. This is another episode. We are going to talk about sibling conflict, sibling rivalry. It all happens in most households, something that you cannot run away from. And I have amazing people on board. I have Valentine Devote, I have Rebecca Rainfall, I have Peace Kamala, and I have David Mangi. Yay! Drum rolls! Drum rolls! Yes, I know we have interacted with these voices. With these voices in other seasons and other episodes, and I am excited because they really accepted the invite to do it now as a panel, to do it as a full board. Sharon is not here, but I know we will have another session to talk about something else which I will not mention here, but we should wait up for it. Again, another reminder, I am still selling my Touching Lives merchandise, so if you want a cape, a t-shirt, a polo shirt, a hoodie, a notebook, just write it on the comment section and it will be delivered at whatever place that you're in. So why don't we just start? My amazing guests will tell us who they are and where they are at. And as they introduce themselves, they will tell us how many siblings they have, and they will tell us the most silly fight they have had with their siblings. So I start with Paris. Karibu sana Paris. Welcome so much.
Hi. Wait, introduction, Buana. Thank you so much, Lilian. First of all, thank you for having me. Thank you for having us. I think when she texted me, I texted back to her and told her, or when she called me in for this, I texted and said it's always an honor to be on this platform. Yes, and I pray that keep listening, guys. There's so much content as you can see, so keep listening and just go there and find beautiful and amazing things. So my name is Grace Mwangi. I'm so excited. Yeah, so I am currently in a rural country in Kenya, and what I do, I'm an event planner, so I teach at by profession. Yes, and I am so grateful to be here. Yes, one silly fight I have had with my sibling. Yeah, but when I was thinking about this and when I was preparing, I remember that I actually fought with my brother running. I don't remember the exact thing we were fighting about, but I remember we were running around the house and my brother was running after. Like, why? I just don't remember fighting about. But I remember back then, I'm suspecting because we fought so much about chores in the house. So I'm suspecting to a point where I neighbor a lot to help out and help solve the conflict with our past. But anyway,
All that drama.
I am looking at us right now in this age and I'm like, why were we even fighting?
I
Why?
know.
Yes. And anyway, yes, I think that's it. That's it for me.
Okay, thank you so much, baby. Val, Val, karibu sana.
Asante sana. Hi guys, my name is Valentine Jerome. Lillian, thank you so much. Yeah, for the invite and for allowing me to be part of your podcast. Yeah, currently studying, doing my masters at the moment. Yeah. So I have four siblings, and one of the silliest things, I don't remember clearly, but I'll speak about my younger siblings. My sisters were fighting about food. In case the food were fighting about, they were fighting about kiburi.
Kiberi,
Yeah.
chapati.
But one of my sisters actually pushed my other sister to the door until she got hurt. She bled and we had to take her to the hospital because it was so messy. And it was just all about, we look back and laugh at what happened. But yeah, I think that's one of the few fights I vividly remember.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Niko hapo nashangaa tu. Peace.
Thank you so much, Lillian, for having me. I really do enjoy coming back to this podcast. I think it's one of the, should I call it, heartwarming experiences I get every time I converse with you. I think it's because of the aspect that we have known each other for some time.
Mm-hmm.
And congratulations on what you do.
Thank you.
My name is Space Kamala.
Mm-hmm.
I'm a lawyer by profession and I'm currently a student at the Kenya School of Law pursuing my advocates training program.
Mm-hmm.
I am a firstborn in the house.
Yay!
I am a firstborn and I have two siblings who follow me. So one of the most silliest sibling rivalry that I had with, it was my brother particularly. It was over food.
Huh?
So this one was
But
silly.
you're
No,
from
silly
Western.
actually.
Na represent watu wa Ingo.
Actually, what happened is my parents had bought for us crisps, potato crisps. So the worst thing is that it was only one packet, so we had to share.
Mm-hmm.
And so you know what my brother and I did?
Mm-hmm.
We opened the packet and started counting as we divide 1, 2, 3, 4. Till we were done.
Anna.
Yeah, and also it was so petty to the point that the smallest sizes we had to like split at some point. Yeah, that's the most fight I could remember.
Yeah. Hey, that is so funny. Funny thing is that I'm laughing so loud you would think we ever fought with my brother on critical matters. I'm also a husband. We fought over bread crust. Ile ya juu na ile ya chini kabisa. Like, I mean, I'm the eldest. I thought I should be the one taking this. I felt those were the sweetest. The bread crust, the one that is usually the topmost, and the one that is the last, the very last. And we could fight. We even fought to a point we could wake up like early enough so that you are the first one to take breakfast, so that you're the first one to take the first bread. And there's also that nini ile mkate ya twins, the one that ni nono kushinda zile zingine yenye ilikuwa hapo katikati, and we would get so excited when we see it. We fought over that one too, and there's a time my brother actually cried. He cried that night until he had to take that slice of bread before he slept so that I don't get to eat it in the morning. Anyway, I don't know why it has to be the brother, but it's okay. Becky, karibu sana. Becky, we are waiting on you to tell us about your sibling fight. Is it also about food? Like us?
Thank you so much, Lee. It's just an honor to be here, but again, it's such an honor, and I'm thankful. So my name is Rebecca Nduku. From a Chacos County. I don't know why this is laughing. They are just to calling me Becky or Renzo or something, you know. But anyway, just so that I can be in their stores, I am Rebecca Renson.
Okay, Rebecca Renson.
So yeah, I'm a lawyer by profession. I'm a lawyer by profession, yeah. Currently, Machakos is doing my internship at a law firm, and that's generally what I do. And I have two siblings. And oh Lord, you're very crazy fight with your siblings. For me, I can't really have one concrete one for now, but we normally fight with my siblings over my clothes, guys. Because yeah, I wear their clothes, they wear mine, and we fight like no one's business. Because why would you be looking good on my clothes, man? Yeah, man, I'm not even getting that. So I think that's majorly where we fight. And maybe when I mispronounce a word, it becomes a laughing subject for a week. And that one is really irritating. Because
yeah, we get it. We get it.
Thanks, that's me.
Thank you so much, guys. Guys, we have had. If you need any event planner, if you have an event, then Paris is here to help you. And if you have cases, if you need a lawyer, I have two. I can lend one at an affordable price. You pay me, I show you a lawyer. Then we also have it is just so awesome to have you all here, and it is funny because we have seen that most fights could be so silly yet we really fought. Unaona hadi wengine walipelekwa hospitali juu ya those fights. I ever fought with my bro and tulinunua elastoplast ama inaitwa ya kuka bandage kidogo. Silly fights, but they really are something. How do these sibling conflict manifest in families? Is it that we are supposed to be fighting, or we are just immature? We wait to just grow. How do these conflicts really appear or manifest in families? Val, I will invite you because you are the eldest. Now you'll be telling us. Maybe I still fight with my brother till date. Val, karibu sana. You can tell us how these conflicts manifest in families.
Oh, sorry, I don't know if I have enough wisdom to actually share about how or why it manifests as siblings, or I don't know. I would say sometimes it's petty, just feeling that it's more of small disagreements that I want this and my sibling wants it, and we can't come to an agreement of how to either share what we have together without feeling that I'm not I'm not exploiting them, and I'm not also being exploited over the same thing. An example of food, people saying that they had to count, and the counting is not that it's more of let's make sure that we have equal share, whether you're an older sibling or a younger sibling. And when we agree on that, then that is when with conflict arises. We feel like, oh, you have either stepped on my feet, you have not allowed us to have equal share of what we have. An example of clothes. I feel, oh, my clothes is your clothes is nicer on you, and I want it so that I can also look good. And you're like, no, you're not having my clothes. And most of the time, the fight comes not because I can't lend you, but because you know it's not. Because the fight comes because you want to take it when I'm not there. Because you know probably I can give you, but if you ask nicely, I can actually give it to you. But you just this one will not give you because like she likes this particular dress or something. Yes, I think that is where it all begins. More of we are not fully trustworthy of each other when it comes to what we need to share or what either of us or our parents.
Becky, what do you think? You have just mentioned withdrawal. We need to mature up. Huh? Becky or Peace or Perry, what do you think about how this conflict come about? Yes, please.
Okay, I agree with what Val is saying. Sometimes it can be out of pettiness. And I also think, especially when your sibling is almost your age, I think the age gap difference. Sometimes they think like you guys are age mates or something, especially for brothers. And I think there's that aspect of, I feel we are equal. I feel we are at the same level. So what are you telling me? What are you imposing on me? So there's that.
For brothers, when they are already initiated back, you are on the same level.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I think, especially when they start growing tall, they feel like, the biggest there and all that. But to also exhaust, the other side of it, sometimes parents, when parents speak favorites, it tends to project some bitterness in the siblings. For example, if a parent projects that, this is their most beloved child and all that, you can see how in the Bible how Joseph, how his brothers reacted when Joseph was seemed to be the favorite child. They resented him. I almost said resented. They resented him a lot. But I think that those are the main reasons that I could tell for why this sibling rivalry starts.
It is so funny that even in the Bible we see Cain and Abel fighting, to a point one kills the other. And you even get to see that it is the brothers of Joseph that sold him. It's not like his parents, but it is his brothers. That is quite something. Yes, Val.
So from what pieces said, I would have a question on it, not to disagree, but to also bring probably a different side of it. With the example that she has used with Joseph, is there a positive conflict when the other side of the conflict, that we are not conflicting because I have anything against you, but because I am just your sister and I want to be annoying to you without any bad blood?
Hmm. Interesting question. Yeah, I'm just waiting. Paris? Kuna positive fight. Paris?
Okay, I um
Mhm.
had shared and
Mhm.
I had actually thought about it and responding on it by being sick, like a common is actually part of like a bigger percentage they are growing up. They
Mhm.
kind of had this fight. So it's like it is now say that so that means the bigger about the kids when they're growing up,
Mhm.
you don't manage them or even realize that it's getting toxic, it's getting unhealthy,
Mhm.
the parents are not doing anything, or they're even the ones who are putting
Mhm.
time, like now
Mhm.
it will be a point where it becomes like support that giving to the stress that challenge but like a challenge better. I
Mhm.
think we had our parents negative can be negative, it can be positive if it's not I can be like feeling like I'm going to end up doing this thing. I think that competition is healthy,
Mhm.
but it's into another level now it becomes yeah, it becomes a future.
Ah, Becky, you have raised your hand and you are like, here, yes, 4 points. What's your
Well,
thought?
thank you for that, Lily. But I just want to talk about a very sad said.
Mhm.
And of course, there's something like positive sibling rivalry. And I feel like sometimes it can encourage people to bond. There are people who don't know how to strike conversations amongst siblings, not unless they distract you. You get. And maybe that is just the way you guys can get to bond.
Mhm.
But again, we have to draw a big line between it so that at the end of the day, we won't be conglomerating pieces
Mhm.
and at the end of the day, get to hurt another person because if you hurt them, then I think it is just a big line in between, which you need to be very much careful. And also when you're still growing and parents need to get involved.
Mm. Which takes me to the thought and the question of what are some of the toxic traits of the conflict, because we have talked about the healthy aspect, because I was seeing some data somewhere that in life, apart from spending the rest of your life with your spouse, um, most of us or kids who have grown up with their siblings spend more time with their siblings than their parents, which we can all relate to, because most of the times our parents have gone to work and we are left with our siblings. So unapata most of the time or most of our years at home we have spent with our siblings. And it takes us to the point of the healthy part where you learn how to negotiate. Just like Chris has told us, walikuwa hadi wana measure the small ones with a ruler. You get to learn and you get to know you're supposed to like fight for your own voice. But then there are those traits of your brother is a real bully, your sister is a real bully. Like what sets you apart? Even in our age, we have seen even in our family gatherings, we will not talk about our own family gathering, but other families, other families, you get to see that so and so is not getting along with so and so is not getting with so and so. Yet they are sisters, yet they are cousins, and we are all grown up. And you see, these are things that maybe they started while they were still young, and they have carried the whole bitterness till in their grown age, and they would tell you, "Unajua venye nilikuwa high school, this is what my brother did to me, this is what my brother said to me, or what my sister said to me." So where do we draw the line? Because Becky has talked about growing up. or there is a thin line between, the conflict and the rivalry. So my question is, what are these toxic traits? What are these toxic um fights and conflicts that we do have with our siblings? Yes, Becky.
And Lily, thanks again. Let me go for the fact that most of the time they are just the slight things we ignore. And when you're sitting with someone and you're constantly fighting, it raises eyebrows. And most of the time we deem that to be natural. Of course, I must acknowledge the fact that most of these enmities between siblings, they are natural, because even if we bounce back to the book of books again, we have stated the examples of Cain and Abel, and we have also gone to see Jacob, is it Joseph and his brothers and all. They are things which happens, and we must acknowledge that. And again, we have to understand when it's getting out of hand, like when you are constantly fighting with your sisters and your siblings. I think that one should also raise eyebrows. And there is a time which is coming where we even get to a point of being to abuse others verbally. And it's like it's okay. And if you're not careful enough, we are humans, and most of these verbal abuses, they hurt. And at the end of the day, you may find that you're having a resentment towards your siblings, which should have been solved a bit earlier, but it wasn't. Or maybe sometimes it's lack of support for one another. You never support your sisters, you never support your brothers. And at the end of the day, you grow knowing that I have nobody around me, and you may grow up hating them for no reason, or maybe that is a valid reason of which I'm not even justifying it. And these are the things, the little things, which really makes things to pile up, and they become big issues. This and I will tell you that you get to court and you listen to what families are doing to one another, and you're like, hold on, are you still brothers? Are you still biological? Are you? And you're like, yeah. When did it start? When we are young, just because we didn't sort these issues as early as yeah. I don't know if I got you right, Lily. That's my take.
Yeah. And it is so funny. It's so funny that this is what actually happens. For ground. Please, what are your thoughts?
I actually was almost saying what Becky just said. In the current era, you see families fighting over their parents' property, especially the siblings. And when you draw down to what really happened between them, you realize sometimes it's even history and cases of abuse. Maybe the siblings have been abusing each other from a young age. Sometimes even, especially the youngest and the oldest and youngest siblings, they tend to. The oldest sibling gets to face those things we call black tax. They feel like the younger siblings might be draining them because of over reliance and guilt trapping them out of the fact that you are the eldest. You should be the one stepping up for us when our parents are not there, when our parents are not in that position. So that brews some form of bitterness in them. And then the youngest, the middle sibling, most of the time they feel they are the forgotten one. They feel like the world does not see them, the family does not tend to see them. And then the youngest sibling, being the most favored one, feels they're being choked by the fact that they are the ones who have to stay with their parents and experience. The parents usually call them their handbag, so sometimes they're misused in the process, and then they want to get out of the home because they want to feel the freedom their other siblings are feeling. So this tends to brew up to the point where the parents are no longer there. You find it being dragged into inheritance issues, success issues. There are cases even where siblings kill each other because of this brewing of abuse and brewing of conflicts that wasn't handled in time, and it leads to strained relationship. In addition to it's not only about blood siblings, but let me call it step siblings for the families that big the bigger family. Let me call it the polygamous families. You'll find more in most cases the siblings of the first wife do not agree with the siblings of the second wife or the third wife, fourth wife, for the communities that are allowed to do so. And this sparks a lot of toxic rivalry and toxic conflicts that lead to this point where we are saying that they can't be able to talk to each other because of one thing or two, or the others feel like these ones are coming to take everything from us. Yeah.
And Paris is talking about a lot of emotional distress. I mean, we may fail to see this what we call the petty conflicts that we have, and even when we grow up and you start paying pocket money here and there, and sometimes you tend to ask yourself, why is he asking for too much? Why is he asking for too much? And by the time you get to just have a disagreement on why you sent it late, why you sent it while it was not enough, now you get hurt in the middle of all that. So, Paris, what are your thoughts on all this? Naona ni kama I have now hammered. The question has hammered the point. Uh-huh.
Child, you don't trust or you're the eldest child, so much of your thinking you are you believe your child, calculate and like there is so without things that escalated or talks or because someone and they could have different as time goes perfect but it's not hard in the other side their career find them about finished quiet and by the time you're getting now that's what I do.
Okay. Val, you also have some points to add on.
Yeah. So I was listening to Peace and Becky, and to the extremes that can actually go with sibling rivalry, and I was thinking, as we say that starts from a very young age. Where does it really begin? And this is what came to my mind when I'm fighting with my sibling about even a piece of bread or even a cloth, and I feel they have actually talked to me badly or in a manner that I did not like it. And now I am angry and I raise it to my parents and I'm like, probably this was going on and she abused me or she beat me for no particular reason. And my parents decide to tell me that you're the older sibling, you should understand your younger sibling, or your parents just decide to slide the whole thing, or probably decide just to favor whoever. And I get hurt because I'm like, what do you mean I am being
what do you mean that she talked to me that way or she treated me that way and you're keeping quiet about it? My parents used to tell us, you fight, but if anyone cries, I beat all of you. And I'm like, I'm fighting because I'm fighting because it feels like you guys are not even seeing that they are wrong. You see, it starts there. I'll start keeping a grudge. And the next time we fight over a very silly matter, I remember and I become more angry and I hurt them, you see. And my parents will now punish me for whatever I have done. Yet it did not start there. It started with a mistake that I had raised earlier when I was trying to do like, no, this is wrong. You should not have talked to me like this. But they kept quiet. With time, I will no longer be raising it to my parents or to authority or whoever will be there, and it will create more grudges, more anger. And as we go, I will keep referring to either that specific occasion or the many occasions that come about it. So when a very important issue like probably uh, property or something arises, I'm like, no, we can't do on that just because 10 years ago or 20 years ago, my parents just had it, or whatever happened, happened. And I feel that is when Vicky talks about during the decline, it's hard to talk to our parents probably about the same because they're old now. Now is when we look back and be like, that was what happened. But I believe we will be future parents, and this is a few things that we also need to learn. And also, if we have very young siblings, when they fight, it will probably be a fast one. I think we should also learn to handle it in a better way so that it will not feel hate as they grow up.
Yeah, and this whole thing brings me to the point of different parenting styles and how it influences sibling rivalry. Val has talked about parents sliding it. And you give a complaint and they pretend they never presented. They are supposed to be the wakilis and they pretend. And this happens especially with the youngest siblings, the very youngest. And they would be so stubborn, they would be, I don't know the right word, but ni wachokozi. So you'd get like they are, I don't know, they're so stubborn and you want to discipline them. And when you discipline them, they throw tantrums and they're over and about saying, oh, Vala alinichapa, oh, nani alinichapa, hata sikuwa nimefanya kitu. And you get punished for that. And their parents nowadays are so vocal and they're like, this is my favorite kid. And I don't know when a parent is vocal about who the favorite kid is, I don't know how the rest of the kids are supposed to be feeling. And we even see the whole senior Joseph. It is his dad who even made a coat for him, the coat of many colors. And you see how all that brought enmity and bitterness among his brothers, and they even decided, okay, wacha hata tuende tumuue, wacha hata tufanye hivi. Just by good, yani by good luck, ama by God's grace, that they didn't actually kill him, but they decided to sell him. So, parenting style. Becky, you have raised your hand. What are your thoughts on parenting styles and how it affects sibling rivalry?
Thank you so much, Lily. I didn't see if my hand was up, but then I'll go back to what is it? It's Peace who was talking about parents who favor their kids. I think that is the basics of all the sibling who have been eating with one another. And most of the time, these parents don't know that thing, if you show favor to one kid and ignore the other, they feel that they are hated. These are the kids who grow up with low self-esteem and all that. It's a baggage you're causing them. And that one makes them to hate other people. And again, look at the authoritative parents you get. Those who strike a balance between warmth and structuring the family, and they tend to foster healthier sibling relationships. Like Val was saying, if a parent has the guy to correct you, at the same time is authoritative and he offers home to the kid, and their issues are sorted, that one fosters a very healthy sibling relationship. Because I know if I am not in touch with my sister, she has wronged me, and I'm going to report her to my mom, I'm not going to be condemned, but rather we are going to say that, and I'm going to be given a last warning, and you get. I think that one really fosters a good relationship, because the next time you are approaching your sibling, you be careful, you know the repercussions. Again, to favor again, if I know that if I hurt you and you're my sibling and my mom is going to stand with me, then you get someone is one is the upper hand, the other one is still there, and I think it comes again and picture it brings the issues of self-aggrandizement and stuff. And look at it when we have permissive parents. I think they tend to excavate the instances of their children getting to hate one another and all that. Like the ones I've just talked about, the parents who show favor towards a kid. Lately, that one really brings jealousy, and I think now it comes back again to the temperaments of the person, the attitudes, and the kind of people they grow to be. Because if you are jealous of your sister, you will find yourself asking the question, am I not good enough? And you might end up becoming a person you are never meant to be when you are still a kid, and to even affect how you grow up. I think that's my take on that.
And you see, even those issues that mature up to even when the point now we are all grown. I think there are parents who favor their kids, even right now, basing on how much money they put on the table. I don't know. I have not gotten there. We are still babies at our home. I don't know. But I feel and I have heard and I have seen that there are parents. I have seen some parents, some older parents, they love kids who, say, those who are already, you see, nowadays there are people who fly out of the country for work. And when they do that, they keep sending some money back home. And those ones who are not outside the country, they are in Kenya, they feel like, we are not loved enough. Yule mwenye anapigiwa simu sana ni yule wa huko hivyo, because they are bringing much money on the table, and these ones that are here in Kenya, they are not being considered well. And even in families where no one is outside the country, you get that there's this one who excelled. They excelled in their career, they are business people, and they have a vehicle. And then because of my sister, if we don't have a vehicle, we don't have much to bring on the table. And you see how parents get to treat them differently. Maybe there's that one uncle or that one brother or that one sister who is always in the village. They do not have much to show for themselves. There are some who they have fallen into the pit of drunkenness. And you get to see how the parents would get to help them. And in some families, it is vice versa. Like they would bring all the money on the table, but they still love this other one who is always at home. I mean, life is just so weird. Becky, you want to add something? or I should invite Peace to tell us more about, the black tax and how, this whole parenting style can create a sibling rivalry. It's like the prodigal son. Yes, Davis has mentioned that. Yes, please.
I think, first of all, shout out to my parents for raising us in equal love, pouring out all their love to us. And I really do appreciate that, because I really love my brother and my sister so much, and they love me. I don't know, but they love me.
Why did you agree?
Yeah, and I was to talk about black tax. it's something that I've seen, happening mostly in African-centered families, where the eldest child or the one who has succeeded earlier is expected to, help the younger siblings and even the parents sometimes, they constantly call you to send something. And I think especially it happens for the people who are abroad. They know that people who are abroad, earn a lot of money and all that, which sometimes is not the case. Even the ones still within the country, siblings expect, to send them something and all that. And sometimes, it affects even, for example, if that particular sibling has a family already, it tends to affect them. They cannot progress, they cannot do anything with their life that is, sensible and invest in their own life and family because of the constant dependency. Well, dependency is not bad, but if it gets to the extent of, manipulation and negativity, it tends to trap that person into a space that they cannot get out from. So, I think with the aspect of black tax, if I was to advise or rather give my opinion on that, I think parents should learn to, invest the culture of responsibility and self dependency from a younger age. I think the aspect of, if maybe you are given something to, I have seen instances where parents teach their children to save money. I remember when I was a kid, I used to have this kind of elephant for Jambo Junior. We would save our 1 bob shillings with my brother, and at the end of the year we'll open it and see how much we have saved and treat ourselves. So usually it raises that culture. It raises that culture of self-dependency. And I'm not saying that if my brother would text me right now, Amekwama, I will not come through for him. I will. Actually, sometimes I even get stuck and I have to text him. So I think it comes, black tax comes with the aspect of, it only becomes negative when it's prevents you from self-developing. There's some sort of manipulation and expectation. I think one last shout out to my parents for always telling me that I'm not raising you so that you can feed me at my old age. I'm raising you so that you can boost your family. You can even become a greater person than I was. And I think that goes a long, long way towards cultivating how your relation is with your siblings when you grow up. Because if I have that flow of process, and if my siblings have that flow of process, it makes it more relational and more, loving to relate with each other, so that I know that my sibling is not texting me because they just want money. They're checking up on me. And yeah, I think that's really, 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 really important to know, especially in aspect of finances.
Paris, you have something to add?
felt well, another time, but she was that there is a that and that kind of it is happening, but it doesn't mean in terms of the fact that we can't
Ah, interesting that you're having conversations with your grandma. When I grow up, I want to be like you. Huh? This this whole conversation then is sending me. I know the whole conversation and too much. Someone is wondering, funny, were you you're being fed. But this is quite something that we rarely talk about. And I know there's someone out there who is listening in and they have blocked their siblings. They have blocked them because they don't get along anymore. Yet they still share the same blood. I think either Becky or Chris was saying, Madam Momodu, they still are from the same family. They still are in the same house. But unfortunately, they don't get along. How then do we heal from such damages that the sibling relationship has become toxic, and we no longer know, how to handle this sibling. We no longer know how to talk to them. Adult relationships is mostly sometimes broken by cause of money. That would mean maybe you lent your brother or your sister some money or your cousin and then they didn't give it back. So over time it has piled up and now you feel, I can never talk to them again. Or probably they said something or they did something and there's now a strained relationship between the siblings. Val, what do you think or how do you think we should heal from these damages? Or to someone out there?
Well, I think this very fast thing that we can do to actually heal from anything is first to recognize either that we are or to accept the fact that that happened. Then from there, then we can actually look for uh, the things that made it toxic. Because are when the rivalry begins, no one expects that it is going to be extreme. So at what point did it become extreme? At what point was I hurt? At what point did I feel like I'm being manipulated into doing something? At what point did I feel irritated? I think from there then we can actually begin to understand how to deal with it. So because after recognizing the whole pattern of this has been happening because of this, we can be able to find ways around it. Then I think then we can begin to work on it from that place. I was emotionally hurt or I was physically hurt, and now that I was emotionally hurt, how can I heal from that emotional hurt? Can I have a discussion with these people, my siblings, my parents? Can I sit them down and talk about it? Are they also willing to help in walking this journey? Because when you're hurt, you don't just hurt, you're not hurting alone. Your siblings are also hurting. They may not see it. They may look like everything is okay, but I don't believe a home that was one full of love and joy and is now full of hate and anger is comfortable to everyone. The parents are also asking themselves, where did we go wrong when we were raising our kids? I thought we raised them right. Why are they at
20s, 30s, and they can't even talk to each other. They can't even visit us together, like a full group. Like it's either someone who then I'm not coming, I'm coming quick. Then it would be these things with people who are sensible enough to understand what is going on. Then they can bring others on board. With that, then you can focus on beginning the whole process together. If they're not willing, then for those who are willing, they can begin the journey, and with time, others can be onboarded. Yeah, so it just begins with facts recognizing, accepting, then now willing to walk that journey, even if it has, even if it will open those wounds and hearts that we feel that we would not want to open, the ones that will make us cry, the ones that will make us reflect deep inside. Yeah, I think that is one of the things we can actually begin.
Deep. It's getting deeper yet the question is almost going to end. Yes, peace. What do you think about this whole healing thing?
I think what Val is saying is really, really important, and I would really, appreciate her for saying that. And God really invests in families, and I don't think it is ever God's idea for families to, be divided, and families to get to that point of, we're not speaking to each other, we can't talk to each other. Because as much as the world would tend to encourage you that when it doesn't give you peace, walk away from it, shut that door. But you see, you can't shut a door from your family. You see, I wouldn't ever recommend anyone to block their families from the point of a believer. And this is not imposing my values, but rather it's something really, really important. I see family dynamics as a really intense foundation. Is that form of identity that you carry along with it. And I would agree that that those wounds really need to be open, especially if it dawns on you that I need to get this resolved. If your heart intends to get this resolved, it is even sometimes even better for you to be the one making those steps. And it's usually even baby steps. Sometimes it can just be checking out of them, seeing if they're okay or not. Trust me, as much as one may hate their sibling in one way or another, if something ever happens to them, you will find yourself being worried over that, because at the end of the day, you don't want to lose your sibling. I don't know, but I really love my siblings so much. I wouldn't want to lose them. And it's really opening those wounds that I was reading a book by Dr. Henry Cloud on changes that heals. Sometimes taking that initiative to go ahead and even apologize. Sometimes even apologizing, even though you are not the one who caused that, it usually softens somebody's heart. It makes them feel better. Sometimes even people just need a sorry and I was wrong and all that. Approaching it with grace, approaching it with love, and knowing that these are the only people you have apart from your friends, of course. You usually say friends who become sisters. I don't know, friends who become brothers. But you see, your siblings are the only people who will stand with you. They will always be connected with you forever. Forever is a really strong word. They'll always be connected to you. In calm rain, calm sunshine, they will always be connected to you. And you realize even when it comes to hard circumstances, when your friends won't understand how you're feeling, your siblings are there to understand because you're passing through the same challenge, and it sort of brings that aspect of healing, knowing that as much as the world has turned its back on me, Sometimes I only just even need my sibling. If I was to just give an example, we usually have this weird love language with my brother. I don't know if it's a love language. We communicate through memes. We communicate through memes. So sometimes I would some memes. I'm not saying like I'm telling people to use memes, but you see for me and my brother. Sometimes when my brother is not okay, he will send me a meme and I would already know what he's going through, and I will give him a call. He's not a big fan of calls, but I possibly do that. And as much as we had disagreed on something the previous day, it automatically changes because I know he will always be here. He will always be here when I need him. He will always be here. At the end of the day, when December ikifika, I'll still go back and I'll still see the same face every holiday. I'll still keep on seeing the same face. We'll still keep on catching up, helping each other, and all that. So I think it's really, really important for people to understand that world dynamics should not be taken so much into context to the point you forget that you are a believer and the fact that God really works with family. Yeah.
And I would also add that if worse goes to worse, you can visit a therapist, you can visit a counseling psychologist. Like go work on your healing so that you don't get to bleed on everyone else and you don't get to close. I believe there are more healthier ways and more healthy ways on how to deal with these wounds and these damages that have been caused by different conflict. And to also know the personality and the temperaments of our siblings. There are some of our siblings who act how they act because out of trauma, they act out of trauma. So they have not healed themselves. So you are both hurt. The both of you are wounded. So it's either one of you gets healing, either of you gets help, so that you can help the other person. Ladies, what are your thoughts?
I think just to add on what Lisa said, you realize as I was we are preparing for this that there is like a statistic that siblings that had like relationships that are strained end up struggling in other relationships in life. Like so if you have a significant other, it becomes a struggle. Your friendships become a struggle because maybe you're in a relationship where you felt. A good example is a pattern where a child felt like they were inferior in a relationship with their siblings, like they were. So even in all other relationships, with their friends or the other partner, it becomes strenuous. So for anyone who feels like that we have had a long relationship with strained, me and my siblings, I feel like taking the first step would be the journey. Saying that it could be as small as texting and asking the other person how they're doing. It could be as small as making a call, and it can have but take the courage to do it because it will not only help you, it also help. It's not always it's not only to help the other person, but it is mainly to actually help you because what you're going to probably recur even in your kids to come in the future. If you already have now, even raising those kids when they are still will become strenuous. So I think taking the first step towards healing is important and not to forget and mention. I believe taking it to important and telling God that this happened. I would love to. I would love to. I would love to feel to have an amazing relationship with my siblings. God, I need you, and God is enough to help for us who are believers. And I believe anything else, just give it to the Lord. the Lord is going to pass through.
Yeah, you see how Joseph came to just handle it at the end of the day. Imagine your own brother selling you. Huh? And then they come when you are the president of our time. They don't have food. I mean, most people would just them away and be like, you all go and die. Just bring me my dad and my mom. I'll feed them. But for you, you will die. But I see how Joseph handled the whole thing, and I'm like, it is a call to anyone who is going through a strenuous relationship, even with their family members. That you're the better one. You are the better one. When you are the one seeking out for forgiveness, when you are the one seeking out for for help to heal, um, this is just giving me memes here. But you are the better one when it comes to you all reaching out and to just for the betterment of the both of the relationship for both of them. So even as we come to an end, it is an hour past, and I'm hoping that you all are learning from this. You can write on the comment section what you have taken away from this. You can tell us what the silliest thing you have ever thought about. Even as I welcome each of my panelists, my guests, to give us what was it? A word that we will be pondering on about sibling conflict. So I'll start with Val, and then Becky, and then Chris, and then Perry. So tell us one word as we come to a conclusion. Karibu Val.
One word is too short.
Okay, one sentence. One word, delay a quote.
One word, I don't know. Okay, so first of all, I have had a great conversation. I have learned a lot. And thank you so much. I would just say, let us continue to embrace love in our families and in our siblings, within our siblings, because love covers a multitude of sins, as the Bible tells us. And with love, then we can actually, it can push us to have and build healthier relations between our siblings from a very young age, even to adulthood. It will help us to learn how to handle issues and conflicts maturely, and yeah, with love, and it will prevent a whole lot of conflict and toxicity that will eventually affect us in adulthood, and also as we become parents in the near future, that we will raise our children differently so that they will have healthier relations within themselves. Yes, thank you so much, Lydian.
You're welcome. Rainson, Rebecca Rainson.
Thank you so much, Haley. And I'll give my parting shot. I'd say it is believed that that siblings are the lenses to our childhood. And I'm sure if you're looking through a lens, you need to see a magnified image or something. And that one, of siblings, and maybe the memories we create while we are growing up. And I must acknowledge that we might be speaking, and some of us who are listening to us have been hurt by their siblings. And I would say that first we need to acknowledge that we were hurt, and that whatever we have passed through doesn't need to repeat itself again. And I would encourage everybody who has had their siblings' strange relationship to hear, so that you can take their stories with grace, and that your scars, which you have experienced, will remain to be marks of honor. You know, you can't be telling in bleeding wounds. It is my prayer that you hear. And above all, let me tell you, when it comes to healing and family dynamics, it's pretty hard. You really need to go to psychologists and all that. But as for me, I believe in the healing which comes from God. Sometimes it's hard, it's messy, until you go back to the Father and tell him you help me navigate this journey. And my final word, last over the weekend I've chilled with most of my mentors, and one of them said talk to me about something, and he said, Vicky, I know this one might not make sense to you right now, but let me pray for your family right now, pray for your husband as early as now, pray for your children as early as now, pray that they will relate well, pray that they will become intelligent people and all that. And I feel that is something which is going to carry me a long way. So take your time and plan for your family and pray for them, even if you still don't have a husband right now, a boyfriend. Maybe that's where we start. Thank you. Thanks for watching.
Really? Sister Becky, really?
No, I'm not apologizing.
Hi, peace. Now, what's your parting shots?
Well, for me, what I can say, as siblings are a reminder of the extreme of love you can give, and the extreme of annoyance you can get. But the beautiful thing is that siblings will always remain your first friend, your firstborn, your forever friends, because at the end of the day, if everyone departs and everyone walks away, you'll always have your siblings. Whether you like it or not, you'll have your siblings there. They're not going anywhere. And I think that's a beautiful reminder of the continuous bond and the love and, the beauty that comes with having siblings. And if I was to say in a funny way, I would say that siblings are the only enemies that you cannot live without. Enemies in quotes. I don't intend to mean enemies, but yeah, that's the most funniest thing I can say. That siblings are the enemies in quotes that you cannot live without. And I would encourage somebody out there who is facing that era that they have even blocked their siblings, that it's not too late to always, go back and try to recreate that connection that was lost. I mean, even if you cannot remember anything good about them, remember the childhood you shared together. Remember the bond that you had when you were little. I hope that would spark a reunion or spark something to, share about, and the beautiful memories and what you all went through to become the people who you are now. So never too late. And when the world goes haywire, always know that your sibling is there for you. They understand you more than even your parents does. Thank you so much, Lillian, for having me.
You're welcome. Paris?
Yeah. My parting shot maybe is something that I read in an article somewhere, that our relationship with our sibling in many ways is our first marriage. What the first marriage, in the sense that it depicts how all of your relationship will look like. So I would pray that the Lord helps us. And another thing I would want to point out is God is so intentional and He holds dear our family. And our siblings are part of family. So it's under each of us, even as we made recently said, that we are going to have a thriving relationship with our siblings. Yes. So thank you so much, Lillian, for having me. I've also learned a lot and learned a lot also. I pray that God bless you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Val. Thank you so much, Becky. Thank you so much, Peace. Peace has been distracting me with me. The comments. I feel like I should be reading the comments even as I wind up this session. Thank you so much, Peace. I mean, you guys have been so amazing. I have enjoyed these conversations that we have had. Just to read some few comments. Peace says she does not know why she stopped saving coins. Saizi angekuwa millionaire. Well, it is not too late. You can start saving. Start saving. Mm. He says that her brother is still sending her memes even at this time of the night, and his algorithm is shocking her. And anyway, she's shocked about the first marriage. That first marriage thing has also shocked me. I have left this session with a lot of wisdom from you all ladies. I wish I had gotten a guy so that akuja tuambie why why we fought over food with our brothers and why they would fight with us over food. But anyways, among my audience, I believe one day I will get I will get people who will be joining us for these conversations that are from other journey. So thank you so much for listening in. I wish you the very best even as you go reconcile for those who have strained relationships, even those who are going to take some time to heal. I pray that the Lord who heals will bind up your wounds and that you will get healing from them. And to those who are happily doing challenges, I don't have a brother like this one. I wish I knew how to sing that song. I would have sung it. But you can continue doing challenges with your siblings because we have been told that they are where we show our extreme love and where we get our extreme love. So till we meet again next time, guys. Bye.